All right, guys, welcome back. Chief Kirk for Cravolology. This week we're talking about long gun defense from the front and 3 of the very most common errors that are made that can get you shot. So stay tuned. All right, so as you can see, I brought James in. We have the long gun. I want to talk to you about the 3 most important errors that you can correct while doing long gun from the front. We'll use the chest. The head's very similar. And I think if you find, what would you find?
You'd find mistakes.
If you train. I think if you train, you're going to be much better at this technique. And keep in mind, when you go through the principles, making a mistake early is much more devastating than making a mistake later in the principles, right? So I can't talk today either. Making a mistake later in the principles. Let's take a look. So James has the gun on me. The 2 most common telegraphing errors that are terrible, and I have to complain for a minute. I look at stuff on the internet. I've not done it for 20 years. And people just bring me stuff and they say, what about this? What about this? And I finally just go, how much stuff is out here that's really unsafe, right? I didn't say garbage. I said really unsafe. So the gun's pointing at me. What a lot of people do, and I've seen like world-class soldiers doing videos, and they'll do this kind of thing where they're leaning in. You cannot telegraph by leaning. What people do when they do this, even if it's a micro lean, is they're trying to load the weight into the front of their feet so they can go in. But you cannot do that first. You telegraph and you get shot, or other bad things happen. They back away, and the initiative is gone. The gun is up. I think about bringing the fingers down. I can't bring the hand out here. It's a telegraph, and I don't have the time to get to the gun from over here. So no leaning. Weight on that. Number 2, the hand comes up right by the gun. My fingers are down. Hope the camera can see that. I'm making a long base with the fingers, 1. And then what people do is they open up this way. That is incorrect. Drive the shoulder this way. Okay, I'm driving my shoulder towards James, and the body defense is automatically made. Okay, this hand comes up. Right, once I've done that, I'm in good shape. All right, the second mistake that's made, and it's connected to this, is, okay, let's say the hand comes up right, and we drive off, the gun off. Most people drive the gun off to about here, and then they want to pull themselves in or jump in. Don't do that, okay? There are instances when we pull, but this is not it. So I come up to this position, and I want to slap the gun. He has 1, 2 hands and a shoulder, 3 points of pressure or contact on the gun. So as I come up, I make this motion. The shoulder drives the gun off, right? And I do that until the shoulder makes the weight go into the balls of my feet. And as I do that, I bend my knees slightly, then I can go in, all right? The third element of this is people tend, because of the other 2 problems, to do something like this, and their weight is back, and they go in, and they're too shallow, all right? We can spend an hour on every minutia here, but don't be shallow here. I want to get up as far as I can on the gun with the lead hand, right? So I'm going to get up where his hand is, and I want to make contact there. And we'll talk about another video about how I touch and why I touch and what happens, and what allows me to get the groin kick in and what allows me to get the gun from him. But right now, 3 huge mistakes. No telegraphing here. No telegraphing here. Bring the gun straight up, or hand straight up. Once the hand is straight up, drive this shoulder off. Lean with that shoulder. As you lean with that shoulder, watch my knees bend. It comes up, I do this, right? Knees are bent. Then I go in deep. I want this hand as deep as it can be. This is actually the control hand, right? I can spend a lot of time talking about it, but basically if I do this and I hold the gun and James starts moving the gun around, he can go up, right? He can go down, right? He can jerk it straight out of my hand, right? However, if I get to this position and I grab the gun, now when he starts to move the gun, I just push. Move your gun. I just push the gun away. Now this hand's on it, so we can get and do this. Oh, we're off screen. All right. Anyway, that's for another time. 3 big things you don't need to avoid. Telegraphing like this and telegraphing like this. Instead, come right up under the gun. Number 2, drive the shoulder until you get in a little bit. You're out over your toes. It makes you go in, soften the knees. You're going to be in good shape. That's going to facilitate a deeper entry, which will facilitate a power kick instead of a front-legged kick, and it will make you safer. Do that stuff. Train it. Try it. I promise you it'll make you safer and better at Krav Maga. Any comments? All right, that's it for today. Like some stuff, join some stuff, do a newsletter, flash dance.